Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So tonight I want to talk about a big television series which I used to be the one of the biggest fans of this show. Certainly, I was one of the biggest fans of anyone I know over here. But yeah, I'm talking about The Walking Dead. As you can see from the title, season 10 is going on. So we've had three more episodes being aired after the huge gap in between. We had, since COVID hit, we had 15 episodes that were shown. 16th episode is 4 months later. I don't remember exactly when, but I did watch that. And I then just a few days back I realized that the the episodes are starting to air once again for the rest of the. I think it's 22 episodes. Is it 22 episodes? Yeah, 22 episodes, which is a first for The Walking Dead. Um, so um, we have completed up to episode number 19, and I just want to put my thoughts on this show, which, to be frank, for me was really fantastic for several seasons. But there's been a big dip, and I want to talk about some of those reasons. One of the main things that I believe is, and it's the nature of this kind of a show where it's a post-apocalyptic kind style of, zombie holocaust kind of thingy. So therefore, you definitely are going to have a lot of characters dying out, right? The main cast people, a lot of them would be dying out in the show to make it more realistic, and of course to also offer that punch of, um, you know, gritty reality and stuff. Because you definitely in this kind of a situation, people are going to die a lot, and new people are getting added as well. And that, for me, that is the main problem that I actually see with such a show. Let me tell you about my experience with The Walking Dead. Although I love watching zombie movies and stuff, for me, television wise, it wasn't really you know, something that I was planning on watching. When I first heard about this show, when did the show actually air? Um 2010, yeah. Uh, so I actually started watching this show just before the third season aired, because I heard a lot of things about it. They were showing it on cable here, um, and the first two seasons, just a little after the initial, just after the initial premiere on the US networks. So I thought it would be good to actually check it out and see if I like it. And what happened was I did like it. So I remember the first season was only like 6 episodes. I watched the entire thing. I think within a day or maybe 2 days, the first season, and then the second season, I again watched it over. I think maybe over a weekend or maybe like 2 or 3 days, um, and I was, and a lot of people say that the second season was kind of dull. Nothing much happens. It's in that farm, Herschel's farm, and nothing much really happens. I actually like a lot of those episodes. So that's what actually hooked me onto the show. And season three, once it started airing, I started watching it again. Season four, season five, I think around season seven, I got a little bit of the fatigue in form of The Walking Dead. And like I mentioned, the reason for me is like a lot of my favorite characters have since died off. They were killed off in the show. A couple of characters like Michonne, for example, who am I really like this character. She's actually chosen to be. She wasn't actually killed off, but the actress decided to leave the show, and therefore, she's been written off the show as such. At least we had Maggie coming back, but yeah, she had left the show in between, and they decided to bring her back. Um, but then again, there are a lot of characters, really good characters, who are missing. Jesus, for example, the bearded guy, he's another one who, when he actually came in, when they actually added him to the show, quite relatively later on in the, I think it was like season 6 or something, or season 7. Um, he was a standout character. So some of the best characters have either been killed off, like Jesus, like some of the others, and some people have actually left, right? Like I mentioned, Maggie did come back. And I think that is the problem. There are a lot of characters who I don't really care about, and they were really boring. They are really boring. One of the characters I can't stand, even though I admit that probably he was meant to be like that in the beginning, and now is a lot more sympathetic character, is the priest Gabriel. Um, I don't like him. I couldn't care less. This is the guy who should have been killed off long back, is what I feel. Um, you know, and I think that is the main problem, because there's a lot of focus and in a lot of episodes where you don't have anything happening. It's a long dairy. It's like focused on a couple of people here and a couple of people there, and they've always got this, going back to the history of what has happened. Sometimes many episodes later, or maybe even some couple of seasons later. For example, we had one episode where this is quite earlier on, season 3, I believe, where they had they on the little bit of a backstory on the guy with the eye patch. I can't remember his name now, but anyway, on that particular person who later kills Herschel towards the end of that season. And now I get to see that Negan. We're going to have one episode in which it's a story about Negan and his wife Lucille, who we've never seen before. And I think that's the final episode of the show. I'm kind of wondering how they're going to put that episode as the final one. We'll see. There's still 3 more episodes to go for this particular season. So 22 is the first time that this show is actually having this kind of numbers. We started with 6, and then we went on to I think 12, and it's been stable at 16 until this season. And the show is actually going to be ending. The other thing for me is because it's set in the US South, which I'm not really happy with a lot of the people's pronunciations and their accents. The way that they speak is what I mean. That is another drawback for me. Some characters, like for example, this guy, I can't stand the way he speaks. Probably it's him as a character, and that actor would have a different way of speaking for other characters. What is the guy's name now? And I haven't seen him in a while, so that is the other thing. I'm not sure if the character is. I don't think he's dead. What's the guy? It doesn't look like he's actually in the show anymore, which is a good thing. No, sorry, he is there. Eugene, that's the character. I can't stand the way the guy speaks. It's absolutely bad. Everybody else, there are the show is hard for me is basically Daryl and Carol. Daryl and Carol. I think Carol is probably my favorite character of the entire series. Daryl would be a close second or third or something like that. Really do enjoy their chemistry as well. Those two actors, when they focus a lot on them, I kind of like it a lot more because it's pretty enjoyable. That's one. But there are a lot of characters who, they're pretty dull, they're pretty boring, and then you focus a lot on them. It takes away the enjoyment, at least for me. I don't know about the other people. It's become pretty stagnant. You have the villains of the season, you have the confrontation, the kidnapping, a couple of people getting killed, then there's a fight, then these guys win. But I think the main problem has been that for a show of 10 seasons, they have had to kill off several of the cast of the characters, and because of that, the show loses the luster. We still got Daryl and Carol, a couple of other characters who have been on for a long time. But the problem is, it loses its heart. Excuse me. It loses its heart. I find it. I'm still watching the show because this is a show that has given me 7 really good seasons. Is what I really believe. That was up to the part time that I really enjoyed it. Season 8, Season 9. Season 8 I think was terrible. Season 9 was well for the most part. Season 10 has been much better. I would say I've enjoyed a little bit more, but the show is getting towards its last legs, and we already have confirmation that season 11 is going to be the final one, which is a good thing. You can still enjoy the show in reruns, and if you have the DVDs, you can watch them over. I don't have the any of the DVDs of the particular show. I've only watched the show once, but it's on streaming services. Pretty sure it's on cable, so I don't think I'm going to need to buy the DVDs anytime. Excuse me. I don't think I have to buy the DVDs anytime soon, and I'm not really sure. I do want to watch the show once again. I don't know if I want to watch it anytime now, but I have thought about watching the first three or four because those are seasons that actually gave me a lot of enjoyment. So maybe I might watch the show once again, at least the first three or four seasons first, and then watch some of the other seasons much later on. But I will definitely watch it once again. Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm missing some of the other characters, Michonne, Rick, stuff and thanks and all that stuff that he says. A lot of the other characters who when it becomes a really big group, the problem is you need to give each person their few minutes in the limelight, and therefore sometimes you lose out on the main character. So that has been something that's I feel is a little bit drawback, and I think each show has got their own problems. So when you have a season of 22 episodes, you can actually make it a lot more interesting. But if it's only 16, that's going to be a little problematic. So I think The Walking Dead has reached the end of its creativity. They do have two, and this is the problem. They do have two spin-off shows. The first one, Fear the Walking Dead, I couldn't get beyond season 2, no, or season 3. I think I stopped somewhere in the middle of season 3, and I just can't bring myself to get back to it because that show drags on for a long time. Don't like most of the characters. No way. None of them are worth worth my time is what I believe. So that's a problem. I can't really relate to any of the characters. I don't find them really interesting. The other one, I watched the first episode and I found myself falling asleep. Maybe I should try and watch two to three more episodes to see if I do like it. World Beyond, but it doesn't look really promising. And first of all, the focus is on those kids, and to be honest, something like this, kids. I mean, when I say kids, teenagers, it tends to actually. I don't know, but I shouldn't be, giving judgment without watching a few more episodes. But it is a little difficult for me to get into this show. But I will try and get into the start from episode 2 onwards after The Walking Dead is over. The next 3 episodes are done, and then I'll try to watch that a little bit. But to be honest, the show should have ended maybe a couple of seasons ago, because by the time it was season 8 and season 9, it was dragging really badly. But yeah, this season has been a little better, so maybe we've got a banger in store for us, and so I hope maybe the rest of the episodes and next season is going to be much better. And then you can it's worthwhile to keep in your collection, definitely. As of right now, I would be happy if I only had first 1 to 7, and maybe even only 1 to 5. So that's basically it. I want to talk about The Walking Dead. Am I correct in thinking that they actually want to have another spin-off with Carol and Daryl in it, mainly? Carol Pelletier and I'm not sure if that's what their plans are, but if so, I don't think it's going to be really good. Even though it's these two characters who are probably my favorites of all time on the show, I don't know if it's going to be really good. I think The Walking Dead is done and dusted. Let's not push too much into it, because there's nothing much that you can actually offer as new storyline wise. It's just going to be a rehashing of the same thing, just different people, different names. The Whisperers, I was really hopeful about them, but it actually didn't pan out so much. There was a couple of things that really blew me away. but overall, not so much. It was actually a little bit of a letdown. Alright, so that's basically it. I've been rambling on for 15 minutes. The Walking Dead, I am enjoying the final few episodes of season 10. Good night.